while we were doing pre-production, I was in Hawaii again doing season 2 of Flight 29 Down, and I don't know if I'd have had a better time in my life working on any other project. While I was out there on 29 Down, that's when I met Travis Cameron for the first time, and Mike Wingett. He's just a great guy who's also directing, and right now he's working on Lost as a production assistant. And just more and more and more people. I shouldn't have said any name because I'm going to leave people out, but you know, got to know better Matt Losey and Bernie Axelrod and Andre Boyd, and of course DJ McHale, who's kind of a hero of mine from growing up because he's the guy behind the TV show Are You Afraid of the Dark, and that is a show I grew up watching, and working with him was awesome. And the director of photography of that TV show for all 3 installments is David Klein, who's Kevin Smith's go-to guy when it comes to shooting. He shot Clerks and Clerks 2 and Mallrats and on and on. So it's just amazing that I'm working alongside these guys whose work I really respect and admire and I'm a huge fan of. And in the meantime, High School Musical with Corbin Bleu is from our cast, and he's one of the stars of that movie. And it was really great. Threw a big party for him on the premiere. It was a big surprise party. And then from that moment, Corbin was suddenly really famous. And it was wild to see him, you know, having worked with him for 2 years at this point. Of course, nothing changed with him. He's the sweetest guy in the world. You always hope that the people you see on TV are really super nice people that, you know, it usually doesn't end up that way, fortunately. But with Corbin, it couldn't have happened to a nicer person. And just suddenly, overnight, he couldn't go out to a movie without being recognized and followed by a huge swarm of people. And of course now he's traveling worldwide doing High School Musical on stage. And of course he's starting a new movie called Jump In. The whole cast is truly a lot of fun to work with, and great people, and people that when I spend 5 days a week with them on set for at least 12 hours a day. And then at the end of the day, generally I go up and maybe I play cards with them or just hang out with them, and then on the weekend I'll go hiking or play football, or just, it's a great group to be around, and I think that really speaks volumes that you can spend 60 hours a week with them and then want to spend the weekend with them too. The crew is very much the same way. As much as time as I'm spending with them, I'm spending just about as much with the rest of the crew. And like I mentioned, Travis Cameron, when we got done with season 2, he came back to Chicago with me to be my director of photography for my movie. And you know, he's still here now, and he's been out here since April, and it's now January, and he's ended up moving his family out here. In Hawaii, they have a term called ohana, which by definition means family, but it's really bigger than that. It's kind of like the support group that make up who you are and who's in your life. And our first day of shooting, or before our first day of shooting, Ran Watermouth, who is the producer of Flight 29 Down, one of them, he gave this big speech about ohana and our cast and crew, and it couldn't have been more on the nose, because it's absolutely true. Once 29 Down season 2 finished, came back, finished pre-production on and introducing Brian, shot the movie and introducing Brian. In the meantime, I did work on a television pilot for ABC called Enemies. It was directed by F. Gary Gray of The Italian Job, and he of course started out doing a lot of big music videos you've probably all seen. That was a big time, $8 million I believe it was, television pilot, the most money ABC had ever spent on a pilot. Unfortunately it didn't get picked up. But then I ended up shooting and introducing Brian, which is, I don't have nearly enough time to talk about that right now. But once that was finished, things were pretty slow in Chicago. I did work on a movie called Quebec, which seems pretty funny, and I can't wait to see it. It was done by the Weinstein Company and stars Sean William Scott from American Pie and John C. Reilly, who is one of my favorite actors from Magnolia and Sydney, and I just saw him do a cameo in Anger Management as a monk. Really great guy, and of course he was in Ricky Bobby recently as well. So now in about 4 days I'm flying back to Hawaii to do the final installment of Flight 29 Down. Really can't wait to see these people for one last go-around. Just to spend another couple of weeks with them will be a blast. And at some point after that I'll be the first AD on a movie called 40 Rows, and that's going to be directed by Mike Wingett, who's one of my PA friends from Flight 29 down. I can't wait to work on that with him. We're shooting in Hawaii and Arizona. And the other cool thing about this next trip to Hawaii is that my girlfriend, her name is Mary, I met her on the set of Enemies, and she ended up helping me out as an assistant director on And Introducing Brian, and ended up working on some small films throughout the summer with her as well. And we started dating during the wrap party of the movie Quebec, and she's coming out. She's going to be a set PA on Flight 29 down, and she's going to be the second AD on 40 Rows. The next time I come to you will be from beautiful Hawaii. So again, thanks for watching.